Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 24th, and well, continuation of just a slight push, but not a whole lot. We did get the turnaround in the shakeout, though. Finally, we're back above the yellow line here, which is an indication that we've got a good bit of breadth in the strength of the move. Steel continues to rise here straight up, which is nice. Midterm buyers, long-term buyers still holding on fine. We're not overbought. We're just flat languishing. We've got enough short interest in there with the DSE sign above the zero line that can be enough to repel things just a little bit. We're not looking at anything too dramatic at this particular point. The NQ likewise has been a little bit stronger, still facing some back and forth right here. We're about to see a little bit of a spider potentially go there. We've got short-term buyers fading out. Now, if you get midterm, short-term all fading at the same time, could get a little bit more of a downdraft. Sometimes that'll bleed itself into a little bit more of a swing lower, in which case they'll be able to reset and buy it up on the dip. And the Dow doing just fine. Oil had a little bit of a decline going in there, still in the midst of that fade off fine. It bounced off a couple of the ABMs, but still possessing some weak signals there. Just got to fill in some of the positive extremes. Gold's not doing anything. Looking dynamically, nothing. Amazing that TLT still holding up beautifully because no real change in the economic prospects out there. The euro, after the massive move, not quite retraced the positive extreme. Some of the near overboughts in the yellow been filled back in, but nothing too dramatic at this particular point. Still strong with the cyan holding well underneath the red DOC and the red DOC and green both. Still strong in place, and as long as you're there, azure and blue starting to rise now, you should hold on to where it is for the time being. The case chart, this is not even enough movement for anything to be happening. And from 5K, we did have an interesting, because coming off the run, we had that nice MBI that took place back over here. Started to rise. It took out what was that long short play, but that short play had many opportunities where it was green several times, and in the new configuration, several of these buys would have been there. Now, you will notice, let me increase the size of this so you can see it a little bit better. These little stars popping in here, those are where GAMs would have been, but they don't qualify having been under the long algo, not having closed above. And so we ended up with this short that took place here with the red from the shakeout, and we started to get fairly decent trail off from there. That was all the way up at 88, and then we've dipped as low as 81, so it was a pretty decent move from that standpoint. What this is going to do for us, though, is we're going to eliminate a lot of these extra signals, and it'll begin to narrow it. In fact, I was showing back a little further, there was a GAM that popped up. Actually, let me show you the one that I put the photo up of. Here we go, right here. So there was a GAM like right here, but that is going to get excluded shortly as I add the next series, because the extreme being overbought, you're not going to take an overbought condition right there at that particular point and still below the algo. So that's going to continue to ride down until we get a more reasonable close that doesn't have positive extreme. There's a similar situation right here where we move up into the inside negative 8 on the extreme and starting to get frothy. Same thing with positive extremes. You know that those are going to be pulling back into a little bit more of a retrace zone. So as those finalize, I'm hoping to get this out the next couple of days, because as I've now added the GAM and a couple of the other elements, I have this SOS called shakeout special SOS, a cute little tie-in there, but that's the one that I've created the language with it, and what I'm creating is effective wrappers that I can attach into the larger program that aren't going to have conflicts, because I've changed all the variables and that. So it's been a long, tedious process, but nonetheless, it's going to give us. Now, we're not going to have any trouble with buy signals, because we have the MBI, the GAM, we got the blue, the A's, plenty of signals for turnarounds to the long side. That's Bomboloni. Yeah, getting a little creative there. Not sure what her dysfunction is, but that's okay. And looking at some stocks. Oh, you know what? Let me put up this first. This is the daily. It's been buying a bunch of, well, we got a Rainbow Hawk here, Iron Hawk, there's a Star Hawk in there, tons of them. Let me scroll it over a little bit here so that we can actually zoom in and take a look at some of these real quick. There we go. Okay, so a lot of them sold out kind of at the break-even point because they ran pretty much nowhere, and then they added to it, and so they ended up selling. The last one just bought at 21.83, so it's a couple of tiny points at this particular level. Hold on, let's take a look at the performance report. Alright, here's the performance report. We were at the equity highs, and then we ended up with the trade that we didn't like anyway, and then it kind of moved lower. Periodic returns on just a few trades, and that's where it is. There's the current trade right now. Open is 11. Tiny so far. 1.9 million over the course of this from 2004. Even though it's an 1103, it needs that much time before it even begins to execute a trade in January of the 04. So, not bad. Just keeps doing what it does. And there we go. Apple, nothing. Amazon had a little bit of weakness develop in there. Came back above the green ABMs. Complete reset. We talked about that the other day. It was below the red line, popped back above. I don't see a whole lot of much happening with any of these, so not really worth going over too much more of it. FAS is the one I'm looking for to do a breakout. We've got the cyan moving below. This is the first chance that we've got that we could see it, and that's what's going to lead to any kind of spark catalyst in the market. So keep an eye on that one. Nothing else to speak of. Going to continue to plug away on these items because it's getting very close now, which is exciting. And then it's just a matter of identifying those conditions. And this also saves because then I don't have to go through and say, okay, under here, then you got to do this, you got to follow this one, look at that. No, it's just going to color, turn around, create a entry point like this, target up, target down below, and if it's short, target up above if it's long, and then a stop. And those will also be variable adjustable from ATR standpoint to fixed point. All good stuff. So very exciting. As always though, look for me on the Skype chat. I will keep posting charts. Trade well.